Welcome everyone, I hope you're all doing fantastic, and today we are going to have Mr. Wizard with the forces of Khorne going up against Cowboy Bob and Slaanesh battling on the Tzeentch Wastelands. So for the Tzeentchian forces, we are going to have 5 units of the Hellstriders, 4 of them here being the Anti-Large and Poison, and the 5th here being the Whips, which are going to come in with the extra melee defense. Now what's nice here about the Hellstrider units, they do have the fantastic ability of the Soul Hunters. So the more kills they get, the higher damage resistance, leadership and charge bonuses that are going to be available for the cavalry, which can make them pretty strong. In the front we are going to have the Double Seekers. These bad boys do have the Devastating Flanker, as well as Magic, Poison and Armor Piercing, and of course here that physical resistance. We are going to have the Double Hero, we are going to have the Double Cultist with the Double Gate of Slaanesh for the Daemonettes summons, 2 units of the Marauder Spears in the front, double of the Exalted Daemonettes. These bad ladies indeed do have the Soul Scent ability and also Charmed, which is going to be really helping them up against any level of heavily armoured infantry. In the front, we are going to have the Lord Choice, which is going to be the Herald of Shadows. She's going to be on a Seeker today with the Soul Siphon, as well as the spells of the Enfeebling Foe, the Penumbral Pendulum, and the abilities of the Portal Glyph and the Locus of Grace. So a nice force here coming from Cowboy Bob and Slaanesh, but here for Khorne, we are going to be having the Fleshhounds in the front, 2 over here on the right in the trees, and a mass Khornefate front line. So 4 units of the anti-large armor-piercing halberds, backed up by the anti-infantry armor-piercing quadruple blood letters. We're also going to have 1 unit of the very tanky Minotaurs of Khorne, the big bad boys in the middle with the massive anti-large armor-piercing weapon strength, and of course that blood greed. So for the Lord Choice, we are going to be having the Herald of Khorne here on his motorbike, which we will be bringing the Revel and Slaughter, the Totem of the Endless Bloodletting, as well as the Gore Feast for regen, Hellblade, and then also the Locust of Wrath. So super cool armies coming from both sides, and we can see here, waiting in the trees, doing a bit of a secret agent ninja action is going to be the Fleshhounds. They're going to be moving forward, and I think they've seen the prey. We have some incoming Seekers. We do have 46 charge bones, and we are going to get spotted here. So we can charge into combat up against the Seekers. We should fight quite nicely. Now, both have physical resistance, and both have magic damage, so they could butcher each other quite quickly here. Side charges coming in from the second unit of Seekers, using that devastating flanker really nicely. That's going to force back the Fleshhounds, but you can see there's a little bit of a chasm in the way here. Tzeentch playing its tricks as usual. Genner in the back, being nice and patient, is going to be Cowboy, really like this. Getting the cavalry round and behind here, and getting a full surround to hit from every single angle. So Daemonettes, the Exalted ones here, going to moving to the right-hand side of the battlefield. Moving in with the cavalry as well. Looks like we did unfortunately lose the Fleshhounds here in the front, but they will not die in vain, I'm sure. Blood for the Blood God and skulls for the Skull Throne will be met, I'm sure. But we are going to be having Fleshhounds here fighting in the trees up against the Anti-Large and Poison Hellstriders. Now they don't have magic damage, so they do have to fight through that physical resistance. But of course, they're going to fight pretty nicely here after they got the charge bonus. 40 charge bonus on top of that bonus first large of 15. It's going to be very nice up against the large Fleshhounds. Now we do have Bloodletters nice and close by. They're not going to stick around the cavalry, and I don't blame them. They've got 100 speed, and they've also poisoned the Fleshhounds, so they're not going to be able to chase too quickly. Halberds, we've really pulled out some units here from Mr. Wizard, so nice work here coming from Slaanesh and Cowboy Bob as the front line does get into combat. So cavalry rear charging here up against the Minotaurs. That anti-large is going to help. We do have a Cultist in the middle and a Penumbral Pendulum coming down the line of the Bloodletters. Pretty damn good damage there up against the Bloodletters. We are going to see Seekers fighting alongside the Cultists with some anti-large Marauder Spears. They're going to be stabbing nice and high here into the bellies of these Minotaurs, but those Battle Axes cause so much damage here in the middle as they just bonk down here on the Seekers, as they are really going to be struggling, very close to crumbling. Bloodletters are going to be going back to the whence they came here, from the Khorne realms for sure. And we do see here the halberds fighting up against cavalry. They're going to be struggling thanks to the armor piercing of the Seekers, and also the Exalted Daemonettes coming in with those debuffs from Charmed. In the back, we are going to get a summon of the Daemonettes of Slaanesh, so they're going to be fighting in and really getting this nice sandwich effect on the halberds and really clamping down here on the infantry. Exalted Daemonettes yet again fighting up against the halberds. Of course, they pay for anti-large and also quite a bit of armor, so stats really aren't going to help here up against the Exalted Daemonettes. Still going strong are the big bullies here, the Minotaurs charging forward. Of course, Charm not going to be helping them very much, but the downhill charge coming up against the lovely cavalry here. The Seekers are now going to charge and meet them, but look at those battle rolls into combat. The combat roll is really going to be thumping quite hard here up against the cavalry, but we do get a summon here of the Daemonettes. Daemonettes going to turn. They're going to burn with all that armor piercing here up against the great weapons, and that 70 armor is not going to hold up against this melee prowess. In behind, we do have the Bloodletters trying to chew through the lovely ladies, and that's going to be a bit of a fight indeed. Cavalry here taking on the Bloodletters of Khorne, and you can see, look at the dead spears on the floor. The battlefield is ridden with dead Slaanesh here in the middle. We can see, unfortunately, the cavalry here of the Hellstriders is going to be falling down to the might of the beasts of these Fleshhounds. Halberds coming downhill to meet up against the cavalry front line. We do get a portal glyph summon. The Furies have been brought from the Slaanesh realm here into the Tzeentchian battlefield as they charge down up against the Fleshhounds, trying to compromise the Halberds, holding them off here from the remainder of the battle, trying to prevent them from getting in and destroying all of the lovely infantry and cavalry. In the middle, we do have the Herald of Shadows fighting here up against the Herald, who is going to be struggling heavily in the middle. We are going to be unstable, losing health as we battle here from the Lord Choice. Of course, he does regen in melee combat, so maybe he could counter that a little bit, but look at that animation there coming out of a motorbike. I absolutely love it, but there's too much armor piercing, anti-large cavalry in the middle for the Lord Choice to really benefit here. Now he's going to be down to 430 HP, going down to 400, crumbling quite quickly, and the cavalry is going to be running away. And we do see some Bloodletters over here on the right-hand side. Daemonettes and also cavalry going to be pinning in the Bloodletters, finishing them off. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here coming forward from Cowboy Bob. What an excellent game here. I was very lucky to cast this on live stream. I did do a King of the Hill on Twitch. If you guys do want to go follow and check me out there, feel free to check it out in the description. Now, well played to both of these gentlemen. What a fantastic game. We'll start here with Mr. Wizard. 900 coming from the Herald of Khorne with 1,550 from the Minotaurs. Now, of course, they cost 1.5k, so that's a pretty good performance. I do generally think the Minotaurs do struggle, but the same is going to be said here for the Halberds. We can see 440, 590, 230, and 111, and a lot of these really, really underperforming. And that's going to be for the majority that they're paying for anti-large armor piercing and bucket loads of armor. Now, one thing I think maybe could have done a little bit better is maybe some Exalted Bloodletters. Of course, here, when they get the Hellblade, they get that buff and base weapon damage, and, they can really duel with the best here up against the Exalted Daemonettes, but it's really quite a tough battle. I think the Fleshhounds can do okay, but they do suffer up against the Hellstriders, a very, very good cost-efficient cavalry. 400, 290, 460, and 470 for the Bloodletters of Khorne. 400, 500, and 750. I really like the army. I really like the idea. I do think perhaps going back to the drawing board just a little bit on maybe the Halberds and the combination of the Minotaurs might be a thought there for you, Mr. Wizard. So 1,600 for the Herald of Shadows. Very strong performance with those penumbral pendulums. 450 and 200 here from the Cultist of Slaanesh with 166 and 102 from the Marauder Spears. The Exalted Daemonettes coming in at 106 kills and 119 kills, 970, 980 damage value, very strong indeed. 800 and 620 there for the Seekers, with 291 there for the Hell Scourgers, and for the regular Hellstriders, 760, 480, 580, and 600. So what an awesome game. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you did, please smash that like button. Please feel free to leave a comment down below with all your thoughts and opinions, but please do be kind. And then also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It really does help the growth of the channel. Check out that description, as I said, for the Twitch, and then also my Discord. And other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves.